However, there are too many things we don't know about the phone wave. Why did the same phenomena that occur in CERN's time travel also occur in that tiny little microwave? Unlike the LHC, this thing wasn't made for time travel. It was made to warm Mayushi's chicken. Well, yeah. Since the Jellyman phenomenon occurs with the phone wave, name subject to change, Mayuri's bananas must be reaching the Kerr black hole's ring singularity. It makes a black hole here? It won't suck us in, will it? If it sucked us in, we'd become Jellymen too. But we still haven't figured out the electric discharge phenomenon, or the conditions required to cause it. During our experiments earlier, we were only able to send emails to the past during the discharge. Although it hasn't happened again, that discharge phenomenon could very well signify the injection of charge, that is, electrons, and only when it occurs does the path to the singularity open. We don't know the cause of the discharge phenomenon. That's what we need to find out. In the first place, the emails we're sending to the past are digital data, not physical objects. There's a definite difference from CERN's time machine. No, we're doing the same thing. Who's to say that digital data can't go through a singularity? I think it would be easier than sending something human-sized. Well, I suppose that's true. You know, the way you guys talk about email makes me think of folding a letter into a paper aeroplane and making it go zoom, you know? It's more like a beam of light, like optical digital data. By the way, it's a pain to keep saying email sent to the past. Let's give it a proper name. I've got a bad feeling about this. What's that supposed to mean? You dare mock Foin Kyoma! You just want to give it some oddball name, don't you? How rude. Heed me. I shall name the phenomenon of email sent to the past as follows. The name shall be... Nostalgia Drive! Confusing. Rejected. Why you? Who gave you the authority to reject my ideas? You're just an assistant! Then why don't we take a vote? All in favor of Nostalgia Drive? It's the only one that does. Have you forsaken me, Daru? Mayuri? Chris-chan's right. It's too hard for Mayushi to remember. It's way too chunny, man. Traitors. Fine, then let's hear alternatives. Don't tell me you rejected my idea without having any bright ideas of your own. I think it needs to be something easy to understand. It's an email that regresses through time. So how about retro mail? What does retro mean? Sounds like you have your answer, Christina. You said it should be easy to understand, but it wasn't easy to understand at all, was it? But that's because Mayuri-san is... never mind. Were you about to say because Mayuri's dumb? No. Chris-chan, do you think Mayuri's dumb? I don't, I promise I don't, okay? I vote the male who leapt through time. That's too stiff, it's hard to say. It's better than your Nostalgia Lister Expialidocious nonsense, and mine makes a movie title ref. That's not cool, it needs to be cool. You're rejecting it for that? Tutu! Mayushi has an idea. How about back to the mail? I took a movie title and changed a word to mail. I already did the movie joke, Mayushi. Besides, I think the meaning's a little off. She probably meant mail to the future, but our emails go to the past. It's not about the meaning. I took a movie title and changed a word to mail. Either way, it's too long. Then how about DeLorean mail? Doesn't even say what kind of email it is. Hey, we don't have time for this nonsense. Let's just abbreviate to D-mail and move on. That's boring. I don't care if it's boring. Shut down. Horisu's influence in the lab seems to have grown significantly these past few days. D-mail it is. Mayuri proclaims the decision with satisfaction. So, why does the D-mail phenomenon occur? Because the path through the ring singularity is open. We've been over this already. We don't know if there's actually a black hole at work here. It could be an entirely different phenomenon that just happens to resemble CERN's experiments. It's dangerous to jump to conclusions. Why so timid? Don't you want our time travel experiments to succeed? That's why we put our lives on the line to hack CERN. What we need to figure out is how to turn the phone wave, name subject to change, into a usable time machine. Do you really think that's possible? There's no think, only do. What? Did you read that off a motivational poster? You're like the classic incompetent boss. Damn you dare insult the insane mad scientist? Who in Kyoma? Well, it's not like Okarin's the boss anyway. Indeed, I am the symbol of this lab, not the boss. I don't know what you mean by symbol, but how do you plan to turn the phone wave into a time machine? Let's have details. My plan. Alright. There is one thing. We've been thinking that the electrical discharge happens at random, but I have a hypothesis. Which is... Recall the conditions when it occurred, Christina. We experimented through the night with no results, but there's one variable we overlooked. The simplest, most definitive variable of all. That is, the time of the occurrence. Ah. I checked the times of the two previous occurrences. When I accidentally sent the first email to Daru's phone, it happened between noon and 1 PM. The second time, when all four of us observed the email, it was 6 PM. So if we perform the experiments within that time frame, we might be able to reproduce the effect. Let's try it right now. Well, I'm glad to see she has her priorities straight. Mayushi's bananas supply is getting low. Gotta buy more. Sorry, Mayuri-san. I'll go buy some new bananas later. Really? Yay! Okarin and Daru couldn't eat my bananas. They never buy new ones. I'll be sure to amend that in the future. A bunch of bananas is a small price to pay in order to bring chaos to the world. First, let's see if it'll become a jelly man. Trying for the clumsy girl appeal. It was an accident. Chris-chan, pain, go away. Thanks, Mayuri-san. Kurisu pulls herself together, types on her phone, and activates the phone wave. Name, subject, to change. The banana inside the microwave slowly begins to spin backwards as the timer counts down. Whoa. It became a gel banana. Just as I suspected, the critical variable was time. I was a little anxious about the result, but it all worked out. I outwitted the impertinent genius girl. Now my position as symbol of the lab is secure. Well, way to go, Akabe. It was so simple, I didn't notice it. You're praised as you credit Christina, but I know you're frustrated you didn't think of it first. Anyway, let's see if we can send another D-mail. Ugh, I feel like my authority has been on the decline since that girl showed up. It's cool, man. You never had any to begin with. Help me, you two. Okabe, I'm sending an email to your phone. When did I become her assistant? What are you gonna send, Chris-chan? Doesn't matter what it says. What matters is whether we can send it or not. Let me see. Okabe is an airhead. Wait, you there, assistant. What are you typing? You'll see. Ready? I'm sending it. This is where the timing counts. We know that we have to open the microwave door during operation, but we still don't know when to send the mail. For now, we'll do them simultaneously. Kurisu readies her finger on the phone's send button. I stand by in front of the microwave. Starting the countdown. 3, 2, 1, 0. Yeah. It's working. It's working, you guys. The discharge lasts for about 10 seconds. Luckily, it didn't break through the floor. Did it arrive? I disconnect my phone from the phone wave, name subject to change, and check my mail. There's an email there. 2 of them, even. The Okabe in the first one is obviously my name. But what does airhead mean in the second one? My English is shaky. Is she saying my head can fly or something? Whatever. I may not know what it means, but I do know this. My assistant is making fun of me. Christina. Did you send 2 mails? Huh? No, I only sent 1. Mayushi saw it too. She really only sent 1. But I received 2. You're right. I even sent it in 1 sentence, but it got divided. By the way, what does this word mean? Why don't you look it up? I guess she doesn't want to answer. That reminds me, the email from before was cut up mid-sentence too. Was it? Wonder what's causing it. Maybe it's related to the jelly men. Mayushi wants to know why it arrived 5 days ago. Good point. Didn't the last one also arrive 5 days before we sent it? Yeah, it did. Is there some kind of rule for when it arrives? Let's try sending more. Mayuri's right. Now that we've figured out how to send emails, we should keep experimenting and collect as much data as we can. Alright, lab mems. Battle stations! Is that it again? Our mission is to send as many emails as possible. Daryl, man the X68000. Your job is to observe, adjust, and gather information on the phone wave. Name subject to change. Assistant, keep those mails coming. Try various patterns of text. Japanese, English, full width, half width, emoticons. The actual messages don't matter. What about Mayushi? Your mission is to go shopping. Just buy some bananas for now. I, Hoin Kyoma, shall fund you. Wow, you're so generous. So I guess your job is opening the microwave. Whoa, you saved the easiest job for yourself? No, my assistant's judgment is sound. The key to a successful D-mail is most likely the correct timing of opening the microwave door. Oh, I was just kidding. Leave this task to Hoin Kyoma. I shall open this door with precision, boldness, and delicacy, as if it were the flesh of a beautiful woman. Ocarina, that's naughty.
No.
Furthermore, the current operation is top secret. You must not leak it to anyone. Got it? Now I shall give this operation a name. It shall be known as Op. Don't need one. Let's start. Wappa. You ruined my climactic scene. Damn you, assistant. This is an outrage. Afterwards, the D-mail experiment, its name is Operation Erd, though I lost my chance to announce it, continues for 2 hours. During that time, every D-mail goes back in time without a hitch. Now it's time to take a break. We're all hungry, and except for Mayuri, we've been up since last night. Go ahead and rest. I'm gonna have a go at it a little longer. The scientist's blood must be on fire. We've made a number of discoveries, but we can wait to assess them until after we eat. When we return from buying lunch, we find the Braun Tube Workshop's one and only part-time warrior standing in front of the building. So, what shenanigans are you up to this early in the morning? Shenanigans? The kind you wouldn't believe. We're building the first time machine in human history. Oh, cool. Hey, shouldn't you be more surprised? Not blame her for being skeptical. I didn't think it was possible either. And isn't that top secret? I thought you didn't want anyone to know. Crap, part-time warrior. Please keep what I just said a secret. Sure. By the way, the boss is really pissed. Why? The noise. Whatever you're doing up there, it's got the whole building shaking. Dust everywhere. Kinda like an air raid. He was saying stuff like, "What's that nutcase doing? I'ma raise his damn rent." Maybe you should go apologize. Oh boy, what if he kicks us out? Alright, leave it to me, Daru. Go tell my assistant to lay off the experiments for now. Roger that. I won't forget you, soldier. Daru salutes, then races up to the second floor. By the way, is Makase Kurisu here too?
Oh.
Yeah. Come to think of it, she did pick a fight with Christina yesterday. Have you met before? No. Yesterday was first contact. First contact? First contact? First contact? Oh, really? What a confusing way to put it. Weren't you a little hostile for a first contact? She's my enemy. What? I barely heard her. Her voice was so low. Did you call Kurisu her enemy? That doesn't make sense. How can she be your enemy? You just met, right? Yeah. Did she do something to you? Not to me. What does that mean? She did something to someone else? If you want, I can go talk things over with Christina. Doesn't really matter. Maybe you're blaming the wrong person. Jeez, give it a rest. Anyway, shouldn't you apologize to the boss instead of talking to me? Actually, I'm getting cold feet. But I am Hoin Kyoma, the mad scientist who brings chaos to the world. I cannot falter now. I have come! Even my grand entrance can't pull his eyes away from the huge 42-inch CRT TV. Hey, Okabe, the hell are you doing up there? But now is not the time to falter. We're currently conducting experiments that will change the course of human history. The discoveries we make today will shape the world for centuries. I don't care what games you guys play. I'm the owner of the building, got it? And the building's really worn out. You keep shaking it like that, you could bring the whole damn thing on our heads. Better keep quiet about the dent in the floor. Very interesting, Mr. Braun. Don't tell me you forged this building's earthquake safety certificate. What if I did? It's been properly reinforced, but regardless, you guys are still shaking it too much. So what if a few buildings collapse? What's that? As I've said countless times before, our current experiments are of vital importance to the history of science. No, to the history of human civilization itself. It's more important than prolonging this building's lifetime for another 10 or so measly years. The building starts shaking again as soon as I finish speaking. Flakes of concrete start falling from the ceiling. The 42-inch CRT's image goes to static. Damn it, Daru, what are you doing? I thought I told you to stop the experiments. Okabe! The ceiling is falling, you dumbass! Some got into my ramen. What are you going to do about it, huh? No more shaking. or I'll raise your rent by 10,000 yen. What? If you raise it by 10,000 yen, we're ruined. Leave it to me, Mr. Braun. On my honor, I swear there won't be any more shaking today. Christina, stop the experiments at once. Sorry, Ocarina. Mayushi tried to warm up some chicken. I accidentally put it through reverse rotation and then it started sparking. I see. I sent you an email. Didn't you get it? Your sarcasm is not appreciated, Christina. You know as well as I do that my phone is still attached to the phone wave. Name subject to change. Stop screwing around. I'm the one who has to deal with Mr. Braun. But I gave you 5 days advance notice. Was he mad? Yeah, I could feel his killing aura. Somehow the gravity of this is lost on these two girls. They know not the wrath of Mr. Braun. Ignorance is bliss. Anyway, no more experiments today. Well, at least we got some good data. I tell the two about Mr. Braun's cruelty and sit down to eat. Kiyama-san, are you familiar with Jero froggies? They were a huge fad last year. We have tons of them at the shrine, so if you like, could you take a few off our hands? Dad bought a whole box home for some reason. Then he said they were for me. I don't know what to do with them. P.S. I was so bewildered I couldn't do any practice swings with Samadare. It's from Lukaku. Should I reply? Those weird-looking frog things that were popular with teenage girls in Shibuya last year, right? If I'm not mistaken, they came out with a wide variety of them. There, that should do it. Now, let's discuss Operation Erd's progress. Operation Erd? Oh, right. Thanks to a certain assistant, I didn't get a chance to present the operation's codename yesterday. Heed me, these consecutive D-mail experiments are all part of Operation The experiments have been fruitful. At the very least, we've learned what we can do with D-mail. Kurisu gets the whiteboard and begins jotting down bullet points. Use modified command for microwave warming function, reverse rotation. Force microwave door open while warming is in progress, timing unconfirmed. Discharge phenomenon. Send mail to phone wave, name subject to change, during discharge. Conditions for discharge. 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, question mark. D-mail text limit. 12, 1 byte, or 6, 2 byte characters multiplied by 3. Distance into past depends on phone wave, name subject to change, timer input. 1 second on timer equals 1 hour into past. Contents of microwave become jellymen, confirmed to also teleport. That about sums it up. Anything to add? Nothing especially, she's summarised the vital parts. Mayuri has her mouth half open in a blank stare. She clearly doesn't understand. A D-mail can be at most 36 English characters or 18 Japanese characters long. That makes experimentation difficult, so we'll want to improve that first. Furthermore, each D-mail is split into 12 character segments. If you send 36 characters, you'll get 3 12-character emails. If you try to send more, everything after the 36th character disappears. But we figured out how to control when it arrives. That's pretty good, right? Though we can only set it in 1 hour increments, we can control how far back D-mails go by using the microwave's timer. Observation isn't enough. We need to find the underlying principle. What I've written here is nothing but verified phenomena. The underlying principle. You're right. It's not a complete time machine until we understand how it works. What could be the reason for the character limit? Chicken and bananas become gel chicken and gel bananas, but salt doesn't turn into gel salt, right? So much gel. According to Mayuri, the refrozen chicken had indeed been jellified when she tried eating it. Kurisu's prediction was right. And you can send 36 letters in a D-mail, but everything past that disappears, right? So I think maybe you can't send big things, or a lot of small things. Maybe the curved black hole. It's Kerr black hole. The curved black hole. Kerr black hole. The black hole's hole is too tight. Mayushi, say that one more time, starting from hole. The hole is too tight. Outrageous. Stop making us say stuff like that. This is brazen sexual harassment. Mayuri has flowers for brains, so she's easy prey for Daru's perversions. It drives me crazy. The hole is tight, huh? That might not be entirely wrong. Maybe we have the same problem CERN has with their time machine. Since they can't fully control the lifter, they can't make the singularities perfectly naked, which limits how much they can send. Anyway, 6 Japanese or 12 English characters comes out to 12 bytes. English characters are half width, so they only use 1 byte, but full width Japanese characters use 2. Bytes? Not kilobytes? Oh, so Maka says she's bad with computers? Is that so, assistant? Shut up. You don't see things measured in bytes nowadays, so I was just making sure. By the way, 1 kilobyte is 1024 bytes. 1 byte is 8 bits. Well, email isn't just comprised of text, there's more to it, like the sender and receiver's email address, the header, and various other things. So roughly speaking, we can send data in 3 batches of 12 bytes then. By the way, I don't know if using a subject changes anything, but I'm pretty sure that chicken and bananas have to be larger than 12 bytes. How do you measure a banana in bytes anyway? Since each grain of salt is tiny, it's possible they could be converted to less than 12 bytes. So larger masses get crushed by supergravity? Mass might not be the issue here. Data doesn't have mass. In any case, since the singularity isn't naked, the object is forced to pass through the event horizon. Inside the event horizon, space and time switch places, causing the subject that arrived at the ring singularity to reach ultra-high speed. The data, crushed and destroyed by supergravity, is shot out of the black hole as a jelly man. But even a small mass has to pass through supergravity. How does it emerge unscathed? If the hole is too tight, then we just inject more electrons. I don't think it's that simple. I mean, I'm sure CERN's tried that already, and yet they haven't gotten any results after 9 years of experiments. It's not as simple as increasing the flow of electrons. I see. CERN has a lifter, but we don't know what in the phone wave is filling the same role, much less how to adjust it. She has a point. We don't know what acts as the lifter. But we do know that it has successfully created a path wide enough to send approximately 36 bytes of data through the ring singularity. I guess that kind of explains why things get jellified. But it's still a hypothesis. It hasn't been proven. How would you prove it? With human experiments like CERN? If Okabe and Hashida-san volunteer as test subjects, I'll happily experiment on you. Human experimentation sounds kind of dirty, if you know what I mean. But I refuse. I'd rather play the doctor than the subject. Same here. No. Not in the way he's implying. Idiots. As I keep saying, the real problem is what the phone wave uses as a lifter. That and one other thing. How come the discharge phenomenon and jellification only happen during a certain time frame? We may not understand everything, but we've perfected the art of demailing. Isn't that our final answer? Sending mail to the past is amazing, isn't it? Though I guess it's not a real time machine unless we can send people to the past. Even CERN has failed to send humans through. If you believe what Taida says, it won't be another, 24 years before there's a true time machine? Physical time travel is impossible for us at the moment. We lack the funds and facilities available to CERN. And yet we have realized a form of time travel. We've sent data back to the past. We should investigate